More than 160 people are still missing from the July 4th floods in South Texas. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shares how local organizations are stepping in with disaster relief.
Sheepdog Impact Assistance volunteers met here in this Rogers parking lot before heading out for Liberty Hill, Texas, to provide relief for the aftermath of the July 4th floods. Thanks to community donations, the team sent 4 vehicles and 3 trailers full of supplies, including water, dog food, canned goods, and outdoor items. Leaders say they have 95 volunteers in all. Sheepdog first responder Rafi Morales says the team's mission goes beyond just physical aid.
When something like this happens, it's the heart, it's the mission, the drive that we want to go and help. I mean, if we're bringing anything, it's hope to everybody that's been affected.
For those still wanting to help and for donation information, you can go to our website, 5newsonline.com. In Rogers, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
Bentonville police are increasing patrols by the trails near the Crystal Bridges Museum after reports of an armed person nearby. Officials say they received a call around noon today from Crystal Bridges security, reporting a possible armed man near the property. Police searched the area by foot and drones, but did not find the man. They say anyone with information should call the Bentonville Police Department. The double homicide trial of 27-year-old Cooper Wesley will resume in Crawford County tomorrow. Wesley is accused of killing his father, 57-year-old Terry Burchell, and Donald Lewis in 2023. On Friday, the jury listened to testimony from more than a dozen witnesses called up by the prosecution, but the prosecution has presented conflicting information on the timeline of events, specifically related to the time Wesley stole a gun and when the murders happened. Wesley claims he was in a drug-induced state during the time of the murders. If convicted, Wesley could face life in prison. Earlier today, a shooting spree has left multiple people dead and injured in Lexington, Kentucky. A suspect shot and wounded a Kentucky State Trooper nearby the local airport before fleeing to a Baptist church 15 miles away. The suspect then opened fire there. Lexington police said 2 women were killed at the church and 2 men were also injured. 1 man is still in critical condition. The suspect was shot and killed at the scene by the officers. Police say the state trooper who was shot at the airport is in stable condition. They've identified the suspect but have not released his name at this time. President Trump took to the Club World Cup finals on Sunday. His soccer outing comes as members of the cabinet are coming under scrutiny for recent actions when it comes to the Texas floods and Jeffrey Epstein. CBS News' Willie James Inman has more.
As President Trump prepared to watch the World Cup final on Sunday in New Jersey, he faces growing scrutiny for the actions of a number of cabinet members. On Sunday, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem appeared on Meet the Press, where she defended recent actions in response to flash floods in Texas. Noem called a recent New York Times report that claimed as many as 2/3 of calls from Texas to FEMA for assistance following last weekend's floods went unanswered fake news.
No employees were off of work. Every one of them was answering calls. So false reporting, fake news, and it's discouraging. It's discouraging that during this time when we have such a loss of life and so many people's lives have turned upside down, that people are playing politics with this.
Noem also defended a recent policy she established, making it necessary for her to approve any contract over $100,000, which critics say is adding more time and red tape to disaster recovery.
Why add extra red tape when there is a crisis of this magnitude?
It's not extra red tape. It's making sure everything is getting to my level and that it's immediately responded to. This was not slowed down at all.
Separately, this weekend, the president is defending Attorney General Pam Bondi. In a social media post, the president asked his followers, "What's going on with my boys?" and in some cases, gals. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who is doing a fantastic job. Last week, the DOJ determined disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide in 2019 and that there is no Epstein client list, infuriating a number of the president's followers who had pushed for an investigation into Epstein's activities. Later this week, the president will meet with the NATO Secretary General, who will be in Washington to discuss Ukraine, among other topics. Willie James Inman, CBS News, the White House.
A new tax rule in President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill is getting attention from gamblers and casinos across the country. Starting in 2026, it'll change how gambling losses can be deducted. But one Arkansas casino says the impact will be limited. The team at Bet Saracen, one of the largest online sportsbooks in the country, says the new rule will only affect a small group of players. Under the law, gamblers will only be able to deduct 90% of their losses up to the amount they win, down from the full 100% previously allowed.
That represents a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of our bets. So the bottom line is, this is not ruinous on the industry. It's probably going to affect a handful of bettors in Arkansas. But despite it all, we care about that handful of bettors.
Saracen is supporting legislation that would reverse the change. The new tax rule goes into effect January 1st. In consumer news, more than 850,000 Ford cars are being recalled over a fuel pump issue that could cause engines to stall. The recall affects a wide range of 2021 to 2023 models. They include the Bronco, Explorer, Expedition, F-Series Super Duty trucks, Mustang, and Lincoln Aviators and Navigators. Ford is still working on the solution to the problem. Letters will go out to owners this week, and Ford said it will follow up with a second letter once a solution is available.